Welcome to GreenwoodTodaySports.com Sports Talk. My name is Johnathan L, your sports editor for GreenwoodTodaySports.com. And here today with me, I have Carolina Spike's own Mark Davis. He's one of the contributors, a big contributor to our sites with the Davis Report, being one of his columns. Mark, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you, Jonathan.
All right. We're going to be talking today a little bit about some of the high school games from the past week and then some of the games coming up for this week. We're also going to throw in a little softball talk for some of y'all softball fans out there. But first, let's talk a little bit about some of the college games coming up this week. First of all, we have PC Softball, who is going to play 5 games this week, starting with a doubleheader against Georgia Southern on Tuesday. They also have their first conference game against Gardner-Webb this week. Next, we have Lander Baseball, who takes on Erskine on Tuesday. We also have Lander Softball, who takes on Georgia College. Also, for you bracketology fans, for you March Madness crazy fanatics, we have Clemson, who is going to play Michigan on Thursday in the NCAA men's basketball tournament. South Carolina didn't make it this year, but they did make it to the NIT and will be hosting Davidson on Tuesday. Now, Greenwood, what you've all been waiting for, the high school baseball talk. Mark, talk to me a little bit about some of the games you saw from last week and what some of your highlights were.
Oh, well, this is my favorite part of the year right here. The preseason tournaments are over now. We get into the first part of everybody's season before region starts. Last week, went out and saw Emerald High School play. Emerald lost to 96 in a battle. It was tied up towards the going into the last inning, and Stephen Walden busted out a double down the line, first base line. He went off. What I hear was he was struggling.
Right.
8 out of his last 10 at bats, he struck out. He broke out right here with a double, 2 men on. 96 scored 2 runs, ended up 3-1 going into the last inning. Emerald couldn't do anything.
Right.
Bam, 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 they're gone.
Right.
And 96 wins out. So that's a big rivalry, seems like now.
I heard Greenwood High had a killer game on Friday, kind of a superstition game with one of our watch list players, Christian Powell. 13 strikeouts, I think that's what I heard.
Yeah, Friday the 13th, I put on there 13 Ks. It just matched up evenly that day. He come out, there were scouts in the stands right behind home plate.
Right.
As soon as he stepped on the mound to start the game, he asked for the ball. He asked Coach Richardson for the ball for that game. Normally, I don't think he would throw his ace against Emerald, a non-region game, but he asked for the ball. Coach Richardson gave it to him. He, as soon as he stepped on the mound for the very first time, here goes your radar guns. I think the first throw that, I think Boo, as they call him, was a little bit anxious.
Right.
He threw 2 fastballs at 89 miles an hour in the dirt, but I think that was just because he was, the scouts were behind him at the beginning of the year type of thing. But after that, he dialed in. 13 Ks later, they were taking him out. I think he had a little arm soreness.
Okay.
And it was a great game.
Talk to me a little bit about what you're seeing with Emerald right now. I don't think they won a game this season. So just talk to me a little bit about what some of the struggles are right now.
Yeah, well, Emerald lost in 96. Turned around, lost to Greenwood. Lost all but 1 game in the preseason.
Okay.
Right now, I think they're a very young team. They got 3 seniors, 1 catcher, Austin Dupree. They got a senior in Derek Moore, who's moved from the outfield to playing a lot of shortstop now. And they also have senior John Woolston, who's probably going to be their ace pitcher.
Right. So, and also on our watch list, we featured him in one of our spotlights.
We did. He's going to be a great guy. He just goes out there and gets the job done. He's not overpowering, but he hits the spots, and he's going to keep you in a close ball game.
Okay.
So, but Emerald's problem again this year is their bats. For the past 3 years in a row, the pitching's held up. I mean, you had superstar Brandon Miller, who's now playing with Carolina. He's got some time in there.
Right.
But now you got John Woolston, who's their ace, and last year you had Stephen Gary, but still the bats for Emerald.
Right.
Looks like to me they're scared to take it off the shoulder.
Yeah.
They stand around watching. I think they're trying to make a watch list.
Right. Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about we got to mention Abbeville baseball in this conversation somehow. Just talk to me a little bit about what you're seeing from the Abbeville players. I know a couple of the players are on our watch list. We're keeping a close watch on them. Talk to me a little bit about what you've seen.
Through Abbeville, Coach Smith, great guy, tradition down there, does a great job. Young, still. Last year, they've been struggling the past few years. It's been a big tradition. Abbeville's winning, but they've been down the past few years. But this year they started off a lot of injuries. And actually, a game I went and scouted, they had 2 more players injured in that game.
Yeah.
And one of their top players, Mason Taylor, was who's on our watch list. He was out with mono.
Okay.
So they got young guys like Dusty Scott, who plays third base and pitches for us, been stepping up. And out of the blue, a big guy, first baseman Joseph Randall.
Okay.
He's had multiple hits in 2 different games. So I think they're doing okay. And I think they might be 1 or 2 in the region this year, it looks like.
Well, let's talk a little bit about some of the games upcoming for this week. I know a lot of teams are starting their region games. I think Greenwood has a pretty big game this week in the region. Talk to me a little bit about some of the key matchups you see for this week.
All right, talking with Greenwood first. Greenwood faces easily, be their first region game. Besides that, this week they go to Wren. They play Wren, and that's 2 region games right off the bat. In the middle of that, they go play Strom Thurmond again, who they 10-run ruled. So maybe it'll be a light game in between 2 region games for Greenwood.
Yeah, it should be. Talk to me a little bit about what the Vikings might see this week. Are they going to be able to pull out the first win maybe in the region this week?
Well, you know, they moved to another region.
Okay.
They moved from Region 3 AA to Abbeville's region, which is the Skyline region.
Man.
And that's Region 1. And this will be a whole new ball game for them.
Yeah.
They don't know, besides playoffs, they hadn't faced these teams in the past.
Okay.
You know, but they face Pendleton right off the bat.
Right.
So I know from my coaching experience, we played Pendleton in the past, and they're pretty tough. But we've always beaten them. So
yeah,
we'll see how it goes. It's a different team, different year, new region.
Well, we can't finish the talk without mentioning for our softball fans a little bit of softball this week. I think Abbeville and Crescent, that's the game maybe to watch this week. Crescent was in the state championship last year. Abbeville has a pretty stout team this year. Talk to me a little bit about what you're seeing in this matchup.
Well, like you said, Crescent, they've been dominating every year. They good all around. Pitching, hitting, they can play. Abbeville's tough. They've been coming on stronger every single year. So I think, for me, that'd be the game of the week. If you want to go watch a softball game this week, Abbeville and Crescent.
All right. And before we finish, I'd just like to mention to all our coaches out there that we have up a new game report hotline, and the number for that is 992 6657 864-992 6657. And before I go, I also like for each and every one of our viewers to once again view our site, GwdToday, sports.com. And also, when you go on our site, for all you March Madness fans, we'll have a link on the side so you can go and visit your brackets, so you can start filling out those brackets and see if you can win a little bit of money.
All right, last thing before we go, don't forget about 96 baseball. They are undefeated and facing Ware Shoals this week. So, and what about these players to watch?
You want to throw in some of the players to watch for this week? Who you got there?
Baseball players to watch for this week. I wrote down some notes. Of course, Greenwood High's Christian Powell.
Okay.
Mr. Boo with his 13 strikeouts. Alex Rose on their JV team. He's a potential JV and varsity player.
Okay.
He hit a leadoff home run against Emerald the other night, so he'll be on our game tracker. Varsity JV, you got a freshman who's gotten 2 hits against Christian Powell. That's big for a freshman against Greenwood High, and he's gotten hits in just about every game. His name's John Mulkey.
Okay.
He's a great outfielder. JV-wise for Emerald, you got Logan McGraw, who's pitched very well and hit very well so far this year. Abbeville, big guy, first baseman Joseph Randall. Every time I look in the papers, every time I go scout, he's tearing the cover off the ball. Then you got a little C-team guy who I think should be JV, but that's my opinion, but that's the way Coach Smith does it in Abbeville. He's a utility man. He can catch, he can pitch, he's been hitting the ball. Another guy to look at. 96, I would go watch Ryan Slack and also Shorty, Levi Owens.
Another player on our watch list, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.